Извините. Как скажите, это по-русски? Мочин. 1,30 бат, чай май клаб?
ใช่ครับ3 ลูกร้อย
You recommend it?
Я все выбрала. Шоколадный, клубничный.
Now look at the store. Chocolate?
Шоколадный.
1,000 chocolate club.
Okay guys, so you saw the video of me living like a king over here in Asia. Everybody loves me, thinks I'm a really cool guy. You probably want that for yourself, right? So probably some of you guys, you're in America working a 6-figure job, you know, you pull up in your job in that new whip, that skirt, and you show off to people, people think you're successful. You walk into your shiny office, you look at other people who are similar to you. They look like the image of success, you got society's approval, but you know deep down in your stomach something's wrong, right? Because even though you're making a crap ton of money, you're making maybe way more money than your parents ever made, you're not getting all the value you could out of that money, right? It's like these days with prices rising so high in America, you know, you might be working a really good job, but maybe you're in an expensive city, right? Like if you're living in a city where you can have a lot of fun, where you can live an exciting life, you probably got to pay the cost. So even though you might be making 6 figures, it might not feel like much. You're like, man, I'm barely getting by. And the problem might not be that you're not working hard enough, man. Maybe you are working super hard. Maybe you were a responsible guy, got multiple degrees, you know, you gave your life to your company. But the problem is that you're in the wrong environment. In the wrong environment, you might be making a good amount of money, but you might not be getting the maximum return that you could be getting on the money that you got. So in the past, if you were making 6 figures, you know, a lot of women, they have that dream, right? Like of a guy who's 6 figures, 6-pack, you know, 6 feet long, if you know what I mean. A lot of women have that kind of dream of a guy, but even now, those numbers are getting way more inflated. The past, you know, few years, the cost of living in the States has gotten so high that 6 figures might not be impressive anymore. Because first you got the rent slap you in the nuts, man, it's taking up a big percentage of your paycheck. Then you got the car note, man, you got to whip around that nice car. You know, the ladies in the States, they might not respect you if you're pulling up in a hoopty. So of course you got to get that car that you're making payments on. And then what else, man? We got health insurance costs, man, because living in America is a very unhealthy environment. It's hard to get healthy food for a low price, man. It's taking up your whole paycheck just to get some whole foods. And let's not even talk about taxes, man. So basically, these are ways that a guy who's making a decent amount of money, how he can basically feel like a high status peasant in American society. You know, the peasants of ancient societies, man, even though you're working in the kingdom, the king has all the resources and you're just a peasant, man. Even though you're working yourself to the bone, you're not getting much value, bro. You don't bring enough value to society where you can get enough value. So maybe it's time to change your society. By the way, if you want to break out of that system that you might be trapped in, I got a link for a free 15-minute call. We can map out your escape route, how you can get out of that system, maybe come overseas like me. You know, you might be riding jet skis, you know, in the next 30 days or so. We can map out your escape plan. So click the pinned comment, the free 15-minute call, and we can get you overseas, man. And the thing about American society, it doesn't need to keep you poor, man. It just needs to keep you obligated. It just needs to keep you up to your eyeballs in enough bills to where you can't really think about doing something else. You're like, I'm kind of stuck in this situation. I can't move. That's how you get caught in the American matrix. Because the 6 figures can actually turn into a prison. Because think about it, as soon as you start making a little bit more money, what's the American system gonna tell you? Oh man, you gotta upgrade your phone, man. You gotta upgrade your wardrobe. Gotta upgrade your car, gotta upgrade your house. You gotta do all these things. Like the more money you make, typically the more money you're gonna spend in the American matrix system. So the biggest trap isn't necessarily failing in America, it's winning in America and realizing that the trap is actually a cage that you've been locked into. You just locked yourself into a cage, man. Do you remember that story called Alice in Wonderland? Well, that's a series, a really old story that they made a sequel to called Through the Looking Glass. And in the sequel, Through the Looking Glass, Alice, she deals with this person called the Red Queen. And the Red Queen, she explains to Alice that, you know, when you're wearing these shoes in this world, no matter how hard you run, no matter how hard you try, you still stay in place. And that's kind of what a lot of people are going through in the States. Like no matter how hard you try, no matter how much work you put in, it feels like you're not moving anywhere. You're kind of stuck in place, or you're moving very slowly. So applying that same analogy to the American professional, for example, you might get that raise at your job, when suddenly the rent gets more expensive, health insurance gets more expensive, you're getting taxed harder. It's like you're running in place, man. Even though you're doing more and more work, you have more and more that you're giving. It's kind of like you're running in place, bro. So you don't beat the Red Queen by running faster, man. You beat the Red Queen by getting off the treadmill and changing your environment. So in America, a lot of your mental bandwidth might be occupied on survival. You know, you might not have a lot of free time and mental energy to develop other side hustles, to develop other skills, to really enjoy yourself without needing to stress about next month's rent. But overseas, a lot of that disappears. A lot of that stress you feel disappears, because instead of paying $3,000 or $4,000 a month rent, your rent over here might drop to $1,000 and you're living like a baller over here. Like, you hop out of the American matrix and you move overseas, for example, to somewhere over here like Asia. I'm in Thailand right now. You can live for very affordably. You know, you just make a couple $1,000s a month. You can basically live like a king. That's comparable to, you know, making a few $1,000s over here in Thailand or anywhere in Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia. That's the equivalent to making like 6 figures in the States in terms of your life quality. And you probably aren't working as hard, right? Like, you're, you know, depending on what you do. So for example, I help guys do English teaching. English teaching is what I've been doing for the past 12 years. It's the fastest way for us Americans to get overseas making money. It's a great field, especially if you're over here, you know, in Asia, the Middle East. You can make a crap ton of money. South America, there's so many job options, hundreds of thousands of schools that you can work for. There are a lot of options you can have with English teaching. And when you actually land overseas, you see other opportunities to expand your income. Because here's the thing, guys, like, if you're in the States right now and you're looking at these YouTube videos of life overseas, you're probably only seeing like a small percentage of what's going on. So for example, like, when you touch down over here, you're gonna see so many opportunities that you didn't see in the States. Like, in the States, you might see barely 20% of the opportunities that are available to you. But overseas, the remaining 80% becomes a lot clearer, because you're here talking to different expats, you're seeing people who are living non-traditional lifestyles, and you get taken out of the American matrix where everything's a competition. You might not feel the need to flex as hard on everyone financially because you're living a peaceful life. You know, you're content with making your few $1,000s a month. Let the other people try to race around their Lamborghinis or giving their life just for the vanity of having a fast car, but you're actually enjoying life over here because you're not under constant stress and pressure of American society. So as I mentioned earlier, I do English teaching. I consider English teaching to be your baseline income engine. When I say baseline income engine, I mean that you make enough money to live very comfortably overseas without needing to work that hard. I've been doing it for 12 years. I've had different jobs where I only work a couple days a week and I have enough money to live extremely comfortably. I have a lot of time for ladies, partying, developing other business ideas. I've developed my own projects. You know, I have my own travel bag. I've done content. I'm a painter. I used to do painting. And yeah, you can develop all kind of side hustles. But the thing is, you need something to fund your lifestyle while you're overseas trying to build those opportunities. So I recommend English teaching. I've seen a lot of guys start off as English teachers and they pivot into some kind of other business, like an online business. Maybe they open their own restaurant, their own store. They become musicians. I know quite a few guys who start off as English teachers and then they built their music career on the side. That can be yours, man. You can do that. You can live in peace over here just for a couple $1,000s a month, man. You can live a pretty great life, and you have options to open up all kind of other income streams. So yeah, if you're interested in talking about English teaching, I offer a free 15-minute call. You click the link in the pinned comment description. We can get on a free call. We can map out your escape plan. English teaching is really fast, man. Like, honestly, we can get overseas in like 30 to 90 days, sometimes faster. It depends on you and your schedule. You know, it depends if you're ready to leave the matrix. A lot of guys have been in the matrix so long, they're afraid to leave. But if you're actually ready to get out of there and explore a new life, I can help you do that. I've helped other guys relocate overseas with English teaching. And yeah, you know, it's a great field, especially if you want to come over here. There's so many different countries you can choose from as well. And by the way, I have a free Quickstart English Teaching guide. It breaks down the countries you can go teach in, the different types of jobs. You got in-person and online. I'm currently 100% online here in Thailand. Before I came to Thailand, I was in China for 10 years, taught in person for a long time there. I was in South Korea. I know guys in Japan, all over Asia who are teaching English. Vietnam, Cambodia are so popular now. You can live this life, man. It's open to you, especially if you take that work ethic that you're putting in America and the American system. You take that work ethic and you put it somewhere else. Imagine what you could do overseas, man. You take that work ethic you got in the States, you bring it overseas, you can be living life, man. It's So anyways, guys, I just wanted to open your mind because I know I got some hard-working guys who watch these videos. You might be making a good amount of money in the States, but you feel like you're not getting the respect you deserve for all the work you put in. You feel like you're kind of not living the dream that you were sold when you said, hey, I'd get 6 figures and life would be this way. So get out of that system, man. The system is broken, honestly. And as an American, you have the power to relocate and go someplace else. So I suggest you use that power. And hopefully I'll see you over here and book the call and we can talk about it, man. I'll help you get overseas. See you in the next video.